Hey kids, it's me, Mr. Castiglioni. I'm here today with my good buddies, Kayleen and Leah. They're here today to do a great patterned feather project with us. So I hope that you're ready to draw an amazing feather. Get ready.
Okay, so what you're going to need is a sketchbook, but the best obvious way to save your pictures without falling them out is by using a sketchbook. A pencil, and an eraser. Now if you have more items that you really want to be creative and a little bit crazy, you can use these items. Sharpies, a crayon or more, washable or non-washable markers, we suggest washable, and a feather. Here's a tip that we want to tell you. If you're near the beach and you find feathers by seagulls, don't use those, because last time somebody got sick by using the feather, so it's really important that you use feathers that are maybe bought by the store. So get ready.
And if you got extra, you can use some mustaches.
We're going to draw a simple curved line.
Wait, what's up? These are feathers.
Whoops! Let's put them aside and get our actual pencils and draw a nice curved line. You can also do a straight line, but I suggest you the curved line because most feathers have curved lines than straight lines. So before we do the beginning, you're going to start like doing a point, and you're going to simply get a little bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you can adjust it a little bit. It's a good thing we're going to be using Sharpie later. So let's wait for my sister to catch up. Okay, so now we're going to start like near the bottom. And we're going to simply do like an oval shape with like a point at the top. And do the same thing on the other side to make it look like an actual feather. Nice work, Leah. So now that you did that, now you're going to draw the lines. So simply just do like shapes. You could do skinny ones or fat ones, or you can even do some doing together. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you might want to leave a little space over here, and you're going to start from the top and back to the bottom. It's okay if you start from the bottom to the top, because my sister likes starting from the bottom to the top. Okay, now that we've figured out, you can add some adjustments to do some. And we're gonna put our pencils aside. We're gonna get out our thin black Sharpies. Now, if you don't have any, you can use like skinny markers, or you can use color pencil. So you're simply going to firstly trace this down. Take your time, it doesn't have to be in a rush. And meanwhile you're doing the Sharpie, if you messed up a little bit, you can always go back to it. Right over here you see I made a mistake, but that's okay because that was an adjustment. Now you see I did didn't do this curve. That was just part of my adjustment. So now we're going to work on the feather. Ready, Leia? So you might want to start at the top because it's a little more easier. And you might want to start connecting over here. Now you don't want to trace out the outside of the leaf because we're going to add little gaps to it. So you might want to add little gaps. So we're retracing and do the other side carefully. I'm going to trace the ones that I missed. It's a good thing to keep track by retracing so that way you know which ones that you're going to color and which ones you're not. Now my sister, as you can see, she didn't leave any gaps. So it's okay if you don't leave any gaps, but if you look at an actual feather, you can see some gaps, but not all feathers have gaps. Okay, so now that we finished, you're going to need an eraser and you're going to erase the outlines that you have just traced. That way you have room for patterns. And again, if you didn't leave any gaps, you don't have to erase because you probably just traced everything, so you don't have to worry about getting an eraser and just wasting your time erasing it. It won't work. Now it's time to do the pattern. I have these washable markers, so we're going to use these. But before we do that, we're going to add little patterns before we do the markers. In case if we make a mistake, we know to redo it. We're going to use pencils since I'm afraid my sister will make a mistake. So we're going to make lovely patterns. Any pattern that will work. We'll see. Fine. You can start at the bottom, the middle, or the top. I like starting at the top first. You can also leave like overlapping, so some of it looks like it's disappearing, but you can't see it. Then you can continue left or right from your feather. Now if you're doing polka dots, you can use markers. I don't think you'll make any mistakes when you do polka dots. Now you could leave some behind, but you don't have to color all the feathers. Okay, so we have a bunch of options. You can do like zigzags, you can do polka dots, you can do stripes, you can do smiley faces, or anything that seems an inspiration to you. Now a pattern, it doesn't have to be like circle, 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 square, circle, 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 square, and so on. You can just make your own pattern and feel what seems comfortable to you. My sister is doing like numbers and stuff, so that's another way that you can do. She's also doing like these rectangles like bricks. They are bricks. Just polka dots. So you can either have like each feather to be different, or as my sister is doing, she's doing the same as each one, so it's like symmetrical. But it doesn't have to look exactly the same. It could be either different or similar. It's just your choice. Okay, so right now we're tracing with our skinny Sharpie instead of a big fat marker. And I'm going to show you why. So you see we have two smiley faces. One seems bigger, one seems smaller. And And this is what happens when it goes to a big. It doesn't really go that well, and sometimes with a small. But if you're having a really tiny one, like this one for instance, you see how the marker tip is really fat? It could be struggling, plus it can also squish up your eyes, as you can see. So it's important to use a thin Sharpie or skinny marker before you begin with small stuff. So that was just a quick tip for you guys to hear. So my sister's done, and now we're ready to do our marker. Okay, so now we're coloring the feathers. We have a bunch of washable markers and Sharpies. And as I said, you don't have to use all of these. You can just use one or more items. And when you're using a yellow marker, it's important to be careful not to mix the black with it. Otherwise, it's probably going to turn like a grayish brown. It's nice how Leia does patterns, like these ones. It's like back and forth from bottom to top. It each changes and rotates. I think I'm going to use orange for this one. My sister's going to move on with washable markers. I just love using Sharpies. So we're coloring, and you are doing a multicolored pattern, and I wanted to show you. Now I want to tell you 2 tips. You can, instead of just using the same color, like a cool color next to a cool color, or warm color next to a warm color, like these two, you can do warm and cool at the same time, like this one right over here. So that was a lovely tip. And you can see 2 or 3 or 4 color patterns or multicolors. Now I wanted to show you what it looks like. So basically it's just one color next to a color and so on. So I wanted to show you a 3 color pattern. Maybe I should do blue. Whoops. And maybe green. Wait, sorry about that, guys. So basically it looks like that. You probably just want to ignore that one, and that's a 3 color pattern. So it's important to learn your patterns. You get to see them all over the world. You'll even talk about it in math, like about a 1st grade. It's a great start for you guys to learn about patterns. But this is just for you, just in case if you don't know what color pattern is. So it's important for you to learn patterns, because if you do something that you want to do with patterns, you will know what to do. But you don't have to use just circles or shapes. You can do like zigzags, you can do swirls, you can do anything that you want. So I'm going back and I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna finish coloring. And it doesn't normally have to be perfect, but it's just for fun. It's important for you to learn how to organize your colors by warm to cool. So I'm gonna show you another way that you can also sort out the cool colors. Like, can I have the red please when you're done? Okay, so this side has warm colors and this is cool. Now it's important to learn these so that you know if you're doing a test in art, you know what you're doing. So the warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. And the cool colors are green, blue, and purple or plum. Now some people may have asked, is pink technically a warm or cool color? You may notice that pink is technically a red, so it's in the warm colors. So that was just for you to guys show that it's really also important to not only learn your patterns, but to also learn your colors. You'll probably learn these in art class most of the time, but it's really important to organize your work by using color. Okay, so once you're done with the feathers, I'm nearly done. I'm just gonna start coloring the stem. You don't have to color in the stem, but if you want, you can, or to like blend in, like what you see with most feathers, but not all feathers have it. Like the ones that you buy from the store, they have like these, but like the ones that you get from the beach, like a seagull, they're just gonna like have just white all the time or brown. But they won't have these cool colors like red, pink, orange, or so on. Okay. So this is what I have. My sister's nearly taking her time. My sister's coloring the stem and it's really looking great. But you can also make a pattern on the outside, like polka dots, or stripes, or zigzags, or more. So this is what I ended up. And this is what my sister ended up. She's almost nearly done. So guys, that was the feather video, and we're hoping that you'll enjoy this and have a fun time making crafts. Bye guys.